The sun is out in Spokane as we welcome you in for this special Tuesday edition of USL League One. It's Spokane Velocity hosting AV Alta as the churn of the early season continues, just 3 days after both these squads last took the pitch. Let's get you caught up on those last couple of games, starting with the home side in Spokane. They had a trip to their new local rivals, AC Boise, a record-setting occasion, which Lee Wiedman said he was very proud to be a part of. And they came in trying to spoil things for Boise. They scored first, causing an error out of the back, but there were some individual mistakes that Wiedman called extremely frustrating, including not tracking the runner after this penalty save by Carlos Marancio. That tied the game, and Spokane did leave this one with a point in their new local rivalry. When they got back to Spokane, they were met with a friendly face in Siobhan John Brown, a player who has been critical to the team's success this year. He's got 2 assists in all competitions, which has led to 3 wins in the 3 games that he has played. During the international break, he wasn't available for the last couple of games as he was in East Africa, earning his 42nd cap for Grenada. On the other side of things, AV Alta have had a slow start to the season. Came into the match against Union Omaha with 3 straight draws and ended up with their first loss of the season. They gave up 2 goals before the game hardly got started and had to play from behind for most of the match. Brian Clavin saying that their press was non-existent. Their build-outs were shocking. But in the second half, his team looked more like themselves. They did get a late goal from Christian Ortiz, and they outshot Union Omaha pretty significantly, racking up almost 2 expected goals. Cesar Bahena in the middle of an impressive rookie campaign. He is our player to watch for the away side. He's easy to spot with that number 99. And his 16 completed crosses have made him one of the most consistent forces creating goal-scoring opportunities for AV Alta. The question, as always, who can put them in the back of the net? So it'll be a meeting of minds between Lee Wiedman and Brian Clavin. We are almost set for kickoff, and there will be some history made with Spokane's starting lineups. We'll bring those to you just after this short break. Stay with us.
At Eastern Washington University, students and faculty work side by side to restore a lost prairie and decrease our carbon footprint. Composers are writing music to help us understand how salmon migrate. And urban and regional planning students partner with cities to gather the data they need to address homelessness. Interdisciplinary education that gets real about the real world. That's Eastern Washington University and you.
Once in a while, we all want to go wild. We just need a little help. Meet a little help. The 2024 Ford Bronco Sport Wild Edition goes over any terrain, so you can go all out. Get a wild deal on a Bronco Sport today. Lease a Bronco Sport Wild Edition for $339 a month for 36 months, or purchase with $3.9 for 36 and get $2,000 wild bonus cash.
Kickoff is imminent between Spokane Velocity and AV Alta FC as we get set for some Tuesday evening soccer. Can't wait to bring it to you. Let's set the table with our starting lineups, brought to you by Spokane Tribe Resort and Casino. Both teams opting for a change of formation. So 3 at the back, and in the case of Spokane, it's Gagi Margvelashvili making his first start in Spokane since coming over from Oakland Roots. Neil Binyals is going to act as the nominal number 9 as John Brown returns to the lineup as well. For AV Alta, they take out Jimmy Villalobos, and they bring in an extra center back. But the new man in the lineup is Christian Ortiz, who comes in at the right wing back position. You'll have Alfredo Ortiz playing on the left as they provide the width, and a combative midfield of Osvaldo Le and Mabumu Alassane. So an interesting change from both teams as they will match each other formationally speaking in this match. And they both played at times in the second half of their last game with that 3-back look. As the opening kickoff sent far into the corner, the first away match of AV Alta's season, as Spokane tries to keep their perfect mark going at home. My name is Parker Johnson. Happy to have you with us, whether you're just getting off work here on the West Coast or staying up late with us on the East Side. Only game tonight in League One, and it should be a fun one. The other huge name to note in Spokane's starting lineup, the first start of the young career of the 18-year-old Academy product, Rocky Wells, number 22, jostling for some position on that opening throw-in. He starts on the left side for Spokane Velocity. A historic night for the club's first ever Academy signing, one of 7 changes made by Lee Wiedman. And a foul as Anderson was trying to track down that direct pass into the channel, battling with Gagi. Spokane able to earn the free kick as we take a look at our keys to the match, presented by Ford. For AV, they really need to start stronger, especially than they did against Union Omaha. They gave up 2 goals in the first 30 minutes of that one. They've conceded more than any other side in League One. For Spokane, bringing in that 3rd defender, a main reason that they did that in their last match against AC Boise was to help with their box defending and be able to spread their line a little bit in a defensive way, shut out wide areas by adding an extra player into the middle. And we'll see how that plays out for him. As Mensah brings it forward, it's a first touch for Wells, spearing into the sunshine, and collected by Denzel Smith in the AV Alta goal. Spokane was under the cosh, especially in the second half, but throughout really the entire game against AC Boise, a 1-1 result in front of a record crowd of over 7,000 at the Expo in Boise. Such a great addition to USL League One, and Spokane got to be the first ever visitors there. A hard-earned point, but one that came including the concession of a penalty kick, and so that's why that box defending is a part of our keys for Spokane. They've given away a few of them, 2 in their last 2 league matches. And AV Alta certainly have the trickery to deceive defenders when they do get the ball into the area. They rank 3rd in USL League One in terms of touches in the opponent's box this season, AV Alta. It's definitely an area of concern. Here is our injury report, brought to you by Kinetic Chiropractic, a modern approach to chiropractic care. And they may have a welcome patient in Neil Binyals after that tackle, but no injuries reported from Spokane as a long shot comes from Opara, who holds his hands up in apology. AV Alta still dealing with some long-term absences. Elias Almaish, Steven Ramos, Joaquin Acuna out for this one. Acuna in particular, a player that Brian Claben is excited to get back sooner than later. He suffered an ACL injury around this time last season and is just getting healthy enough to get back in team training. He has the number 9 jersey in their squad. And that is the piece that they've been missing, a striker capable of converting regularly. AV Alta, such a dominant team in terms of possession, passes completed. But just the 4 goals to show for it through 4 matches this season. It was part of why they ended up finishing 9th last year, just missing the playoffs by a single point. Ending the season in a very poor run of form in their inaugural USL League One campaign. Nice play through the lines from Spokane as they advance up the right side. Cross deflected and ruled a goal kick. Lee Wiedman, 2 straight years leading this team to the USL League One final, ultimately coming up a little bit short. One of the big changes they made coming into 2026 was bolstering the depth of this team. They were able to pick some pieces from Tormenta right at the start of the season, but they're still getting all of these players together. He told me this week they've only had the chance to have 1 full training session with the entire squad. They are slowly getting back to full health, and hopefully later on this week they will have an opportunity to get another good session together. They'll play again on Saturday, but that match is also at home, so a few days in market, and then they'll have a longer break before the USL Prinks Tires Cups begins. It's been a fortress so far this year. 2 wins in the league. They opened the season with a 1-0 result against Union Omaha that looks better by the day. Just ask AV Alta, who were defeated 3-1 by Los Bujos their last time out. They also beat New York Cosmos, a team who's picked up a little form since then, but dispatched them 3-1 here at One Spokane Stadium. Ball played diagonally, headed down to Jerry Desdoon, who takes up the creative responsibility along the front 3. Great cross into the box, tucked away by AV Alta. And they have a lead. An early goal for Osvaldo Ley. Just his 2nd ever goal in USL League One. He came through the midfield, strided into the box unmarked. Spokane in an early hole. There's the cross in from the left side. A perfect ball. Miller was on the wrong side of his man. They're all checking for an offside decision, and it was not forthcoming. A flying start for AV Alta. And this should really change the dynamic of this match. As you see Ley, the 23-year-old Panamanian, known more for his work rate and his ball recovery and his duel winning in midfield. But given the freedom to advance and with the 3-4-3 setup that they're working with today, he's in a midfield pairing with Mabumu Alassane. And they will need some offensive contributions from those two without Jimmy Villalobos in the lineup. That is as good as you could ask to start things off for AV Alta. It's crazy when you consider their style of play, how much possession they tend to keep. They've only played with the lead for 17 minutes this season. That was early on against Chattanooga Red Wolves, and then they conceded an equalizer after scoring in the 3rd minute, and that game finished in a tie. But Brian Claben told me, if we get a lead, it's going to be very uncomfortable for our opponents. They will have to chase shadows as we knock the ball around. And that is what is facing Spokane now. Unable to defend that box well enough. Laban has been patiently waiting for these underlying numbers to pay off, and it's the first cross sent in. Converted for AV Alta. Let's see if that brings Spokane out of their shell a bit. Morancio going long and out for a throw. The USL on the CBS Sports Network kicks off on April 18th with an Eastern Conference showdown. Charleston Battery takes on the fast-starting Tampa Bay Rowdies at 3 p.m. Eastern. Catch the action on the CBS Sports Network on April 18th. Be a great month here in April. See the cadence of the schedule slow just a touch now that the first couple rounds of the Open Cup have come and gone, which of course involve USL League One a lot more heavily. We will see the first match week of the Prinks Tires Cup, otherwise known as the USL Cup, between the Championship and League One. And a whistle, but that foul that would have gone Spokane's way is negated by an offside decision just beforehand. Good communication by Trevor Wiseman to check with the assistant. Pajaro, the captain, going long on the set piece from his own center circle. Here's Rocky Wells. That foul will go against Spokane. Jack Denton whistled as AV Alta have hit this crossfield pass a number of times. Taking it out to the left, dropped off, top of the box. And Lay feeling confident after his early goal. Striking from beyond the 18-yard box. Play continues on the far side with Bahena. Relaford slips past Rocky Wells. Now Christian Ortiz. AV Alta getting into their rotations here. And mixing in these long diagonal passes. Ortiz, 1-2, around the corner with Lay. Has numbers arriving, cut back. A diving effort from Jerry Desdoon to try to get on the end. It wiggles wide, but great build-up play from AV Alta. Keeping the ball on the ground and working it to the byline. Scan now and you'll win one of 20 unique restaurant discounts. Thank you to Caruso's, The Burger Dock, Flatstick Pub, Casa Tap House, Konala, People's Waffle, and Method Juice Cafe. Tuesday night dinner time kickoff here in Spokane. And gorgeous day in Eastern Washington. High of 61. AV Alta players straying offside from the restart. This is a part of a run of 10 matches hosted at one Spokane stadium in the course of 30 days from early March to early April. They'll wrap it up with that game on Saturday as Spokane welcome Richmond next in USL League One play. But it's a run of games that has included a visit from the Seattle Sounders, drawing a crowd of over 5,000. Seattle Reign of NWSL have played their last 3 home matches there. And of course, Spokane Zephyr, who's shared this permanent home as they get towards the tail end of the USL Super League season. Great control from Wells. He's looked extremely confident here in his first professional start. Velocity building with their first meaningful spells of possession. Trying to respond to Osvaldo Lay's early tally for AV Alta. Moses Mensah squaring up what was a cross that nearly turned into a shot. And Denzel Smith right on the edge of that shadow line here in Spokane. Had to be watchful. This will be a great look at it from our camera crew in Spokane. I mean, how often do you see those go in? Harken back to the first ever game at One Spokane Stadium a couple years ago. The opening goal at home in club history scored, I believe, by Roman Mettenaire. A German cross, as they call it. Wells wins it back for his team. John Brown chasing over the top, losing his footing. Giving enough time for AV Alta to catch up. That's how quick Spokane can hit you. 2 quick touches after the duel won by Wells. Here's Brown again, coming off the front line. We thought it might be Binos taking up that false 9 position, and it looks like John Brown partnering up top with him. Able to help stretch the back line a little bit. Mensah, the creator from out wide. Great regain. The power of Mark Velashvili. Colin Anderson, no easy man to hold off the AV Alta striker. Binos. Lumped clear by AV Alta, forced onto the back foot by Velocity FC. Great response since conceding. Trying to reassert themselves here at home. Switching to a back 3 for this match as Denton drops between the center backs and looks for the ball forward. Long effort. Speculative from Jerry Desdoon. Wasn't going to beat Carlos Marancio. John Brown checked his initial run. Had to go from 0 to 60 very quickly, and he's beaten to it by Pelivanov at the center of the Alta defense. Andrew Booth considering his options. In slides Alassane. Windermere Foundation is thrilled to welcome our Charity of the Month. It's more than a home, it's a way to give back. Please visit our site at www.windermerefoundation.com. Flip forward by Lucky Opara. At some point, they had to try a riskier pass. AV Alta happily banked in their own half at the moment. Just making sure they don't allow that back-breaking pass through the lines or over the top. Said before, a team that hasn't played a lot with the lead this season, AV Alta. And head coach Brian Clavin was adamant that he would make the other team do the chasing when they were in front, but Spokane have reasserted control over this match since going behind. For a team that had to rotate a ton for this match in Spokane, 7 changes to the starting lineup. Having played last Friday, well, I should say 2 Fridays ago, then a midweek Open Cup match that went 120 minutes all the way to penalty kicks against Colorado Springs. Back to that in a sec as the overlap comes, and Alta finally with an attacking opportunity in the final third. Been our player to watch, Bahena, sparking things from the left. He got the assist on Lay's goal to bring him to 2 on the season. Here he is crossing field to pick it up once more. For a tired Spokane team that have had so much travel, had to play at elevation, offside. They stayed in Colorado after their Open Cup match as well. Didn't go home before playing Boise on Saturday. And it was an early morning flight back to Spokane as they reset for the 2 home matches this week. So playing with the ball is one way that they can not be chasing too much and conserve a little bit of that energy. Be crucial for Spokane as they manage through this match. Out wide for Opara, into the box, a diving stop from Smith as he parries away the cross and saves the second one. That was Rocky Wells coming close. Nearly a goal on his first start as a pro. There go the Spokane fans, brought to life by that last flurry in front of goal. 25 minutes into the first half and looking for an equalizer, as AV Alta have certainly come to play. A team that historically has not fared well on the road. This is their first game away from the hangar this season down in Palmdale, or Lancaster, California, I should say. But Brian Clavin did tell me this is their easiest away trip as far as it's considered, which is a pretty wild thought considering they still have to cross multiple state lines on a long flight. But no time zone change, no cross-country travel. And they have looked the fresher of the two sides heading into this match. They did fall in the first round of the Open Cup a couple weeks ago, so they didn't have to deal with that midweek action that Spokane did as you think about the backlog of minutes in some of these players' legs. But both teams very deep, and neither one were ever going to use the schedule as an excuse. Spokane have looked plenty lively. Part of that due to the 18-year-old who plays it forward to Mensa. Seen out by Miguel Pajaro, the Colombian captain. This is the ICCU Corner Kick, your financial success fan club. Viñas opting for number 4. It's a low ball right across the 6-yard box. No dice for Gagi as he swung his left foot at it. Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the grassroots to the pros, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Relaford tossing it in front of his manager. Relaford, one of several rookies recruited by AV Alta, coming out of the college ranks locally. He played at Cal State Fullerton for his final 3 seasons. And he's been a really important piece for them at the start of this season, holding it down at right back, starting in all 4 matches. He's kept Christian Ortiz out of the lineup, which is saying something until today, where they both start together as Relaford the right of a back 3 with Ortiz ahead of him. Viñas. Andrew Booth able to hold off the defender. Spokane playing without Nico Brett or Anwar Pelaez in the starting lineup. Brett is on the bench for this one. Pelaez not in the squad. It's an unconventional look up top with Siobhan John Brown, the man early on in this match who has taken the center forward position most often when they're pressing. As you'll see here, Viñas has been joining him, forming a little bit of a front 2, and it's enough to get a regain as Booth plays it back out wide. Opara has Marky Hernandez. Dicing, crossing, bringing out Smith, who's looking long for the early ball. He doesn't see it right away, but now up the left side, there is a man free. And well over the head there of Cesar Bahena. So nearly half an hour into this match, and AV Alta have done well, should we not jinx these next 40 seconds at least, in not making their mark any worse in terms of how many they've conceded in the opening 30 minutes of matches. Instead, it's Spokane, who leaked one early on to Osvaldo Ley. And this is a much better position for Alta to be in compared to their last match when they were down 2-0 to Union Omaha at this point in time. But it's a whole new challenge now. Playing on the road, it's a talented Spokane team, and playing with that lead. Spokane have had far more of the ball since that opening goal went in back in the 7th minute. Desdune working the 1-2 with Bahena. Back inside, volleyed effort. Ortiz was waiting for it to drop, and the delay was eternal. Never came down enough for him. It's a great clip pass from Desdune, and Mensa pressuring from behind made that extremely difficult on Christian Ortiz. A 24-year-old in his 2nd season out of Loyola Marymount, where he helped the Lions reach the Elite Eight back in 2023. And getting his first start of the season, asked Brian Claben if he was close to cracking that starting lineup after scoring in stoppage time against Union Omaha on Saturday. What was a little more than a consolation goal, but something for them to take away from that match after going down 3-0. And Claben said that the depth of this team is such an important feature, and whether players are starting or not, he's been impressed all year long with how the subs have come on and made an impact. And he said that those players will get their opportunity. There's just so many games in the schedule, and this Tuesday evening on the road, a perfect occasion to bring a new guy into the lineup like Ortiz, who has proven his value off the bench. Desdune given room to shoot. He will increase the tally for AV Alta in the shots category. Elite Minds, unlock your mind, unlock your game. Visit our website today. Talking to Brian Claben last night, our conversation shifted to the mentality of the players in the team. Still looking for that first win. They've struggled to start the season, dropping some points where they felt like they had control over games. They were the better team. And he said this team is in a good place mentally. There's always going to be some anxiety when you have 4 home games and you come away with 0 wins, but we would only be worried if we hadn't evolved and improved on what we did last season. He said last year their inaugural campaign was all about establishing the identity that he wanted. That much was very clear. High possession, created a lot of shots, but ultimately just too low quality. And they didn't have a consistent finisher outside of Lalo Blancas and his immaculate free kick specialty, which earned him a move up to the USL Championship, scoring 11 goals in League One last season. So without him, they knew they'd have to create a little bit more from open play, and the statistics show that they have been able to do that early on this year. 14 shots per 90 minutes, 2nd in League One. 104 touches in the box, ranks 3rd. And yet, this is the first time all season they've had a lead for this long in a match. Claben feels that formula is coming together. His team is full of confidence to go into Spokane, where they didn't have any success last year. No wins in 3 tries against Velocity FC. And just 2 away wins all season. Looks like the long ball might have been on for Denton. He thought better of it under some pressure from Bahena. Long ball allowed to bounce, and that's where the trouble might form for AV Alta. The layoff is there. The ball through from Booth. Seen on a few occasions. Spokane coming close to those combinations around the edge of the box. Foul going against John Brown. Lot of ball. Coming from that angle, and sometimes it is hard to gain the referee's sympathies, whether you got the ball or not. The energy is right, though, for Spokane. Since conceding early on, they've really been fighting to get back in this match. Round the corner on the outside. That was Opara. Man, you almost never see without a smile on his face, even when he's in anguish over the referee's decision. He's smiling as he turns the corner on Pelivanov as well. And that brings up the ICCU corner kick, taken by Marky Hernandez. The lefty, League One veteran, will send in an in-swinger momentarily once things are cleared up between Denzel Smith and our head official, Trevor Wiseman. Battle going on with John Brown right in front of the goalkeeper. There's Rellerford, who's tied up with him. Hernandez blazes it in. Sent into a very nice position. And dispossessed there. Long shot from Hernandez. Fans think it struck an arm. Hard to tell from here. No real complaints from Spokane as they earn another corner kick. Hernandez did not hesitate once they won that ball back. Spokane gets another opportunity over the dead ball. Deflection. Sent out by Alassane. Whistle goes with a AV Alta player down in the penalty box. That's Cesar Bahena. Try to investigate what happened to him here. He's outside of our shot. Doing some defensive work on the back post, but back up to his feet now. 21-year-old Bahena. Earning his 2nd assist of the season for Osvaldo Ley in the 7th minute. Our only goal so far in the first half. Thumbs up is exactly what you want to see. He's still limping off a bit at the top left of the screen. But 5 minutes to fight it out until the halftime break, and usually that's about the amount of time it takes for the sting to wear off. Hopefully just a little contact injury juggles from Viñals. A touch of Barcelona flair, and it's out for a throw. Lumberbeard Brewing is proud to be the preferred craft brewery partner for USL Spokane. Visit our downtown tasting room for expertly brewed craft beer and food at 25 East 3rd Avenue. Open 7 days a week. Alfredo Ortiz. Pajaro going back to his goalkeeper. And Smith sends it long. 5 minutes until the halftime break. AV Alta being considerate with the lead. Stats show us so far they've only had 38% of the ball. But can they be dangerous here with the goal scorer Osvaldo Ley? Bahena thinks he's offside, and so he waits to see if Ley can come forward and get it. And he's called for offside anyway for interfering with the play. I mean, the intention was right there, as Ley given a final warning about kicking that ball away and delaying the restart. Had the presence of mind to invite his teammate to take over. I think it's a little harsh to penalize him there, but the law is the law. Oh, great touch from Marky Hernandez, trying to lob it over Alfredo Ortiz. Opara sent in from the right side. Picked up by Denton. Moses Mensah splitting the lines to Hernandez, who's taking up a more central spot in the Spokane attack. These are some of the moments where you're missing a Pelaez, you're missing a Nico Brett in the middle, lurking as a goal scorer. The only options to aim for on that last play when the ball was on the right was Marky Hernandez and Siobhan John Brown in the box. The taller of the two, standing at 5'7" against the towering center halves of Pelivanov and Pajaro. Just not a lot of work with in terms of a cross coming in the air. Win big at Spokane's favorite casino, Spokane Tribe Resort and Casino, located in Airway Heights, as Anderson had so much room. A disappointing shot at the end of it. He knows it too, as he slaps the ground in frustration. That was a real chance to make it 2, right on the edge of halftime. As things stand, one goal could change everything for Spokane. Hernandez outside of the football for Siobhan John Brown. Cross! Denied by Smith. It was Viñals arriving late. Corner coming for Spokane. What a denial by the Trinidad and Tobago international, Denzel Smith. A timely stop. It was a perfect pass through for John Brown. Nearly had his second assist of the League One campaign, if not for Denzel Smith. This is the ICCU corner kick, your financial success fan club. Viñals, headed effort, slammed home by Booth. And Spokane level at the stroke of halftime. The first header came from Gagi, and Booth was there to pick up the pieces. Just slow to react from an AV Alta perspective. It hits Relaford and tees up nicely for Booth, the man who was the late hero in their Open Cup match, helping send that game to extra time on the same day that he signed with Spokane. That was 6 days ago, and now he tallies for the first time in League One play. This half stoppage time is presented by Coeur d'Alene Casino Resort and Hotel. There will be 3 added minutes at the end of our first 45. Might AV Alta offer a response? They send it up to Des Dune. Fredo Ortiz knocking it to Bahena, moving freely now. Ortiz at the back post, climbing on his defender. Easy foul for Trevor Wiseman to spot. Imagine Brian Klaben on the AV Alta side and Lee Wiedman heading to Spokane's locker room. Might have had to scribble out a few of their halftime notes that they had prepared after that equalizing goal from Spokane. Klaben, I'm sure, would have been happy to take a lead into halftime, although his side did cede control of the match after scoring. Anderson getting some more touches in the box, but it's loose hold-up play. It's unconvincing when it comes to his feet. And it's right back with the men in black. Booth, the goal scorer. Now they look long for Siobhan John Brown. Letting that long ball bounce. Such a risky moment, especially with somebody like John Brown trying to get onto it. Here he is again, cut back from the Grenadian International. He has been such a danger running in behind. Gagi, long strides forward. Bignol's picking him out. Oh, that would have been special, but Pajaro up for the wrestling match. And Gagi is gonna need a moment. Well, if you're Bignol's, I mean, you have to try to get it back to him after all that running. And it's the late flip as he spilled over Pajaro, inflicting some damage to the native of Georgia. One of 4 players today making his first league start for Spokane Velocity. Again, just speaking to how late they got a number of these important players in, but he's expected to be a first choice center half for Lee Wiedman this season. And there is no more of our first half. Well, Andrew Booth providing a late equalizer for Spokane, who capitalized on their 1.06 expected goals after AV Alta struck early through Osvaldo Ley in the 7th minute, a back-and-forth affair as the visitors are seeking their first win of the season, and Spokane trying to stay perfect at home. A tough, gritty first 45. We're gonna bring you highlights and a whole lot more during halftime. This is USL League One Soccer on ESPN+.
It's true that a Windermere agent's client decided to experiment with power washing their deck a day before the house was supposed to go on the market. It's true that he may have accidentally destroyed said deck. Now, you might wonder, how did that deck get torn out, replaced, and stained in one day, in time for the listing to go live the next morning? We'll never tell.
At Eastern Washington University, students and faculty work side by side to restore a lost prairie and decrease our carbon footprint. Composers are writing music to help us understand how salmon migrate. And urban and regional planning students partner with cities to gather the data they need to address homelessness. Interdisciplinary education that gets real about the real world. That's Eastern Washington University and you.
I'm a real wild one.
Once in a while, we all want to go wild. We just need a little help. Meet a little help. The 2024 Ford Bronco Sport Wild Edition goes over any terrain, so you can go all out. Get a wild deal on a Bronco Sport today. Lease a Bronco Sport Wild Edition for $339 a month for 36 months, or purchase with $3.9 for 36 and get $2,000 wild bonus cash.
Exciting first half between Spokane Velocity and AV Alta. A 1-1 score at halftime. Fans scan now and you will win one of 20 unique restaurant discounts. Thank you to Caruso's, The Burger Dock, Flat Stick Pub, Casa Tap House, Konala, People's Waffle, and Method Juice Cafe. So the end of March means a couple things around USL League One. It's time to look at some Player of the Month nominees and what the USL was up to on the international break.
Over the top, Kruchenkov finishes the stunner lightning strike, 1-0 Knoxville.
It's Bowie in a soft spot. Guanzani around him. Osmir Spangler settling, striking, and scoring. As the understudy heading into this year, but now it's Hammersley with something to do. It's Azad Liati who pierces through and punches Greenville. A goal out in front against the run of play. A good ball in, and not at home. Red Wolves up and running. It's 1-1.
With the field for World Cup 2026 now set, the USL can enjoy its place in the countdown to history. Never before has an active USL player taken part in a World Cup, until now. For the past 2.5 years, more than 30 players from the USL Championship and League One battled through World Cup qualifying. This summer, 6 of them have a chance to hit the field for their respective country. Miami FC teammates Eloy Rom and Jurgen Locadia made history, helping Curacao qualify for the World Cup for the first time ever. Curacao will face Germany, Ivory Coast, and Ecuador in group play. And for the first time since 1974, Haiti will take part in the World Cup, following a very unique road through qualifying. 4 championship players, Duke Lacroix and Garvin Matusala of Colorado Springs, Delence Pierre from FC Tulsa, and Carl Sente from New Mexico United, led Haiti through qualifying without playing a home match. Now the Haitian team faces a tough group at the World Cup with matches against Brazil, Morocco, and Scotland. But while World Cup qualifying owned the spotlight in late March, several USL players took part on U.S. youth national teams, also on the world stage. Colton Swan of Charleston Battery scored a goal for the U.S. under-20 team against Argentina in Argentina. Orange County SC's Tyson Espy played for the under-17 team in Paraguay. And the U.S. under-18 team played in Portugal, featuring Ramiz Hamuda from Birmingham Legion, Brandon Days of Louisville City, and Jameer Johnson, from Orange County SC.
Today, we accomplished nothing. I mean it, not a thing. And it was kinda everything.
This spring, stay 3 nights and get a $50 Best Western gift card.
Prinks Tires in the USL help soccer journeys everywhere to drive harder. From city playgrounds to suburban sidelines, from early mornings to late nights, from fun with friends to winner takes all, from the biggest fan to the biggest heart. And at every turn, Prinks Tires will be there for the long haul.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
Halftime in Spokane. Our score 1-1 at the break in the first game of match week 6, starting here on Tuesday evening. Scan the QR code to vote for your favorite Lumberbeard co-branded can. The winning can will be sold in stadium and select stores next month. Lumberbeard, your preferred craft brewery partner of USL Spokane. So, of course, you got the game tonight, and then if you're anything like me and you just can't get enough League One, we also do have an offering tomorrow evening between Westchester and Sarasota before we get to our 6-game Saturday slate that you see on the screen before you. Both these teams will be back in action. Spokane Velocity will host Richmond Kickers next, and for AV Alta, they'll be back at home taking on Athletic Club Boise. That should be a very fun showdown. And Los Bujos and Forward Madison in the Battle of the Birds kicking it off on Saturday. I am certainly excited to get that one underway. We'll take you to our League One halftime update. Second half, not far away.
It is halftime in USL League One. We hope you're enjoying your match so far. I'm Dan Lucas inside the USL studio with a look at some of the headlines for this week. 2 more expansion clubs notched their first victories in week 4. New York Cosmos defeated Fort Wayne FC 2-0, thanks in part to legendary USL player Sebastian Guinzotti, who scored a goal, his first for the Cosmos since 2016, before that historic franchise's rebirth in League One this year. And Sarasota Paradise topped Portland Hearts of Pine 1-0. That's 4 points in 3 matches for Sarasota, the most among the league's 5 expansion clubs this season. League One stunned the U.S. Open Cup with more cup sets this week, highlighted by Charlotte Independence and Vigo Ortiz's 118th minute goal to sink Charleston Battery from the championship in round 2. Let's take a look at the clubs from League One and the championship that are headed to the 3rd round. a look at our upcoming national TV schedule. El Clavijo returns on Saturday the 25th, this time in the Brinks Tires USL Cup. That's a look at the headlines for this week. Let's get you back to your match for the second half.
At Eastern Washington University, students and faculty work side by side to restore a lost prairie and decrease our carbon footprint. Composers are writing music to help us understand how salmon migrate. And urban and regional planning students partner with cities to gather the data they need to address homelessness. Interdisciplinary education that gets real about the real world. That's Eastern Washington University and you.
It's true that a Windermere agent's client decided to experiment with power washing their deck a day before the house was supposed to go on the market. It's true that he may have accidentally destroyed said deck. Now, you might wonder, how did that deck get torn out, replaced, and stained in one day, in time for the listing to go live the next morning? We'll never tell.
Once in a while, we all want to go wild. We just need a little help. Meet a little help. The 2024 Ford Bronco Sport Wild Edition goes over any terrain, so you can go all out. Get a wild deal on a Bronco Sport today. Lease a Bronco Sport Wild Edition for $339 a month for 36 months, or purchase with $3.9 for 36 and get $2,000 wild bonus cash.
Welcome back, everybody, as we get set for second half kickoff. We'll show you the goals from the first half. It didn't take too long for AV Alta to get on the board. 7th minute, it was Cesar Bahena finding Osvaldo Ley on the streaking run into the penalty box. His first goal of the season, just his second in AV Alta colors. Spokane got themselves back in this match, and it was a late corner kick in the 45th minute when they finally found the equalizer. Andrew Booth slamming home the rebound after Gagi's initial header. Booth alive in the penalty area to tie things up at 1 and set us up for a second half with 3 points very much up for grabs between Spokane and AV Alta. This a part of a stretch of 5 games in 15 days for Spokane. Both teams played just 3 days ago. So those legs are going to start feeling tired here in the second half. We are in for an enthralling final 45. Parker Johnson back here with you as we come to a conclusion in our Tuesday night spectacular here in League One. Thanks so much for joining us wherever you may be tuned in on ESPN+. A lovely early spring evening in Eastern Washington. And Spokane quickly picking up where they left off. They had an extreme possession advantage in the first half, 63% to 37%. And that is very much not par for the course. There's a late kick there. It's the halftime substitute, Adam Almeish, and his first involvement in the game is to kick the ball at a Spokane player who was on the ground, Marky Hernandez. How intentional that was, only Almeish will know. But Hernandez drawing it to the referee's attention. There was enough in the challenge from Alisson to be a foul in the first place, and you can see from Almeish, he's holding his hand up before that ball even hit Hernandez. He seemed like he didn't see him there as he went to touch the ball, but he receives the yellow card anyway. And welcome to the match. Now, Cesar Bahena, the man who came off for him, and that is certainly notable for AV Alta, as they send in the free kick here. Headed back in by John Brown, who hits it! Bahena subbed off at halftime. He was the man with the assist on the opener that we showed you a couple minutes ago in our halftime highlights, and been the leading creator all season for AV Alta, so not having him as an option in the second half could make a big difference. It's another set piece chance created for the home team, though. So our first shot of the second half flashes wide from John Brown. Boy, what a boost he has been for Lee Wiedemann to have the Grenada International back in the lineup. He starts the attack again here. Denton swinging it out to Rocky Wells, 18 years old, making his first professional start. Got a lot of touches early on in the first half, and wasn't quite as involved as the first stanza wound to a conclusion, but Spokane able to get back in the game, and that's what mattered. You'd rather have your first pro game end in a win than any kind of individual performance. For Spokane, they're looking to start with a perfect 3-0 record at home if they could find a way through here in the second half. Gagi Markvelashvili controls it onto Opara. Ball over for John Brown. Hernandez coming on to it. Couldn't set up Denton. And the referee has blown his whistle. Unclear on the decision there, but it's rolled back to AV Alta. Met with consternation from the home support at One Spokane Stadium. If I knew more about that, I'd share it with you, but frankly, I'm baffled as well. Would have been some space there had that been a clean tackle from Desdoon, claiming he used his shoulder, but he was wrapped around the all-action midfielder Jack Denton. Still no Colin Fernandez in the lineup for Spokane, although he is back on the bench. Haven't seen him in a match since their home opener against Union Omaha. Fernandez was withdrawn after 57 minutes in that match. Typically holding down that base of midfields, the number 6 role. Wells, such a smooth operator. Denton with security. Now it's Binyals trying to add a bit of flair to the attack. Goes down too easily in the eyes of Trevor Wiseman. But AV Alta at the moment just cannot get out of their own defensive half. Almeish finding Anderson on the turn. Wants to get it back to Mabumu Alassane, but he is far away from home. The central midfielder trying to get up the left wing, and it's seen out of play by John Brown doing the defensive work. Scan now and you will win one of 20 unique restaurant discounts. Thank you Caruso's, The Burger Dock, Flat Stick Pub, Casa Tap House, Konala, People's Waffle, and Method Juice Cafe. clip from behind. Almeish has to be careful here. Weissman just reminding him that he got that yellow card pretty much as soon as he came into the match. Adam Almeish. Started 3 of the 4 matches for AV Alta in their 4-game homestand to start out the season. It's a tantalizing ball across, but a little ahead of John Brown, who's been the nominal center forward tonight. Opara looking for a cross. And no Pelaez or Brett to be found in the 18-yard box. Nico Brett, Jamaican international striker, is available from the bench. Pelaez not in the squad for this one, if you joined us late. A lot of changes for Spokane in the lineup, but they've been impressive nonetheless. They'll have to do this restart again. Wells on the ball. Using Moses Mensah for support. Anderson trying to make life hard on Morancio. He gets the pass out, but starting some question marks there in the builds. And sometimes all it takes is even the notion of pressure on a goalkeeper. Even if you don't get that close to him or directly shut down a passing lane, it can tickle the nerves a bit. It leads to the bouncing ball for the center back, who didn't quite know what to do with it, and AV Alta have the ball back. It's Anderson, offside. He may be booked here for continuing the play. A look of resignation on his face. Anderson had 1 shot in the first half. He completed 5 passes. And that whack of the ball into the empty net just now, if you ask me, signifies a man who is hungry for some more service. Any chance to put his foot through it. He really had a great opportunity around the 20-minute mark in the first half that could have put AV Alta up 2-0. Now it's John Brown through the legs! Spokane in front! They've clawed it back! Siobhan John Brown with his first goal of the season. The perfect refresher for a tired squad. Denton involved in the buildup. He sees John Brown through the middle, given too much space by Pajaro. And the best opening was right through the wickets. Goals either side of the halftime break. Spokane capitalizing on their dominance here at home and wrestling back the lead from the feisty visitors of AV Alta. A rare lead this season that Alta took in the 7th minute, and it has crumbled through their fingertips. What else do we have in store in this Tuesday night thriller? Looks like A sub being prepared for Brian Claben. I think I saw Godwin Antwi getting ready down there, and he is certainly a live wire. Second ball brought in by Desdoon. Had a run there on the back post. He was late, and he took the shot on himself. Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more for the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. Got to capture the moment with Spokane back in front. The crowd enjoying a little break in the week, man. Nothing better than supporting your local team, getting off school, and having that thing to look forward to all day. It's one of the beauties of having a League One team in your market. Someone to really call your own and bring the family out and make those special memories. Spokane, part of one of the most memorable nights in league history with AZ Boise's home opener, drawing a crowd of over 7,000 on Saturday. John Brown, a little early on his run. And we did see Godwin Antwi coming on for AV Alta. He replaced Christian Ortiz. So a different look in attack. That is a winger on for a fullback, as Brian Claben looks for a little bit more thrust. And having to take Bahena off at halftime definitely changed the trajectory as well. Adam Almeida is no slouch, but Bahena has been the best creator in this team this season. And he had the assist in the first half, so without him out there, we'll see if Antwi can pick up some of those responsibilities. Almeida yet to really get too involved in the attack either, as Anderson has lacked some service up against a stiff Spokane back line. Wells stepping over, past one defender. He dropped his outside back there, Nick Relaford. Rocky Wells ready for the moment as we get set for this ICCU corner kick, your financial success fan club. Antwi starts the counter. Anderson into the channel, defended by Denton, and a great recovery run defensively. Jack Denton covers so much ground in the middle of the park for Spokane. He's involved in their second goal in the attacking phase. What a guy to be able to bring in as the shot snapped off by Alfredo Ortiz. Somebody like Colin Fernandez being sidelined for a few games would be disastrous for most teams in League One. But a quality player like Denton, his third season in Spokane, knows Lee Wiedman's system so well. Just plug and play. Now we'll have two subs for Wiedman's side. And this will be the end of the road for Rocky Wells in his first professional start. He heard that Spokane Velocity was getting a team back when he was in 8th grade, now a senior in high school. And here he is playing for his hometown team. 60 minutes and a fine performance before he is replaced here. So on comes the new signing, on loan from Charleston Battery. A switch out on the left wing. Big sliding tackle there from Alassane, but he can't win a throw for his team. Thought he deflected it off the Spokane player. Here comes Binos. Low ball. Done well to control there by Alfredo Ortiz. The ball came steaming back at him and made sure it didn't go behind for a corner. Now a stinging challenge. Jerry Desdoon fighting to win it back. Opara is going to wheel up for the long throw in. He's got one man checking short, and the center back's available through the middle. Gaggi's the target. Second ball still alive and fought for. Booth flicks it up. Gaggi again. He was offside as he reached for the header. Velocity fans, get match ready with the latest Velocity merchandise. Shop online or in the team store at the Davenport Grand Hotel in Spokane. Those City Lights kits, modeled there by Luis Heel, who they'll hope to have back in the lineup soon, and looking good on Ghanaian Moses Mensah. An early second half goal from Siobhan John Brown, putting Spokane Velocity in front. You've joined us for the conclusion of this one. We welcome you in on this Tuesday night. Parker Johnson here with the rest of our ESPN Plus crew, having a great time in Spokane as we kick off match week 6. And Gallardo has a man at the back post. Alexandre sets it down for Denton. And now the strike comes in, left-footed, and saved by Denzel Smith. Desdoon appeared to be in some space, but Gaggi read it well. And a foul on Booth, who helped start this Spokane comeback with a goal of his own just a minute before halftime, right as we were entering stoppage time in the first half. And those goals either side of the break, so backbreaking to concede for an AB Alta team that got off to as great of a start as they could have hoped for here on the road. But now a chance with Anderson, looking for his shot. Never got his feet right, and that sails well over the bar. Adjusting his shoes, but there's a lot more that has to go wrong for the shot to end up looking like that. Well, if you can't watch the match, turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights, plus your live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. Lay tugged down. So the next chess move to come from Brian Claben. He's going to bring on Jimmy Villalobos on for Nick Rellerford, which definitely signals some kind of change in shape. Rellerford, a center back or an outside back. And, of course, Villalobos has been running midfields in USL League One for years. He comes on for his 141st League One appearance. Lay stabbing it across as sun sets in Spokane. And the home side with a lead to protect, but Alta is going to push for more. Godwin Antwi, positive touch. Bit off a little more than he could chew, and Denton, as ever, there to clean it up. That is going to be an illegal throw. It happens pretty much every week. It is rarely flagged, but Alisson could not have made it much more obvious. His back foot came up as he tossed that ball in. You got to keep both feet on the ground. Well demonstrated by Moses Mensah. This should be Marancio's ball, and it is. Anderson easing off the challenge as Marancio flashing through in bright orange. Definitely raised some eyebrows around League One when Spokane went and brought in Sean Lewis, who went from One Knox, originally signed with Tormenta, and then he's a free agent. And as Lee Wiedman put it to me, if I have the chance to go out and get the two-time goalkeeper of the year, and he's willing to accept the role that we have available on the team, which is not as the starter, why would I not go do it? So that's what they did, but Marancio, despite a little extra pressure in the position behind him, has held on to that #1 shirt and came out with a big performance last time out against AC Boise. Denton has worked his socks off in this one. A deserved round of applause as he is replaced by the veteran Andre Lewis. The 31-year-old Jamaican national. Snapshot from Binos. Spokane, scan the QR code for your chance to win a free water heater from Raptor Rooter and Plumbing, the proud plumbing partner of your Spokane Velocity. Flipped forward by Pajaro. Desdun wasn't ready to make the run. Maybe Alta in a position to set up the press, though, on Marancio. He sees the trap and makes sure that he doesn't fall right into it. It's a long ball up to John Brown. Gallardo had the goal that earned them the point on the road against AC Boise. He won't be able to keep this one in play as it rolls out for a goal kick. eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. Edgy Alexandre finding himself in some space. Drawing a nibble from Abumu Alassane. Player who Lee Wiedemann said has been finding his feet with Spokane, getting more comfortable taking on those opposite outside backs and center backs, and in this case, the defensive midfielder. Alexandre so talented at knowing that right moment to shift it away and draw some contact or get past his man. Went from Miami to the youth system of CF Montreal, and most recently with Sporting Kansas City too. Alexandre earning a 25-day contract with Charleston Battery after performing well in the preseason, and that certainly got the attention of Lee Wiedemann, former assistant there, and said, hey, if they saw something in him, he looked into the stats, and as far as players who were available with Spokane looking for an extra attacking threat, he was about as good as it gets. He's come in and made a nice impact so far, playing against Colorado Springs in the Open Cup and then starting against AC Boise as well. On from the bench now and chasing as the ball barely makes it back to Denzel Smith. Vinyals working it around the corner. John Brown going down. And this will draw a yellow card from the referee. Well, I will correct myself there. Just a warning for Pajaro. Thought I saw the referee reaching into his pocket. Pajaro heads away. Another goal for Spokane. Could really be the one that puts AV Alta out of this match. As long as there's that one goal difference, the chance for a comeback, still gonna be a lot of belief in Brian Clavin's men. Saw him giving a fiery speech at halftime, trying to amp up his players. Of course, it was 1-1 at that point. Just going back to that last play, I guess the instincts were correct there. We didn't see it perfectly, but we do have confirmation. It was a yellow card for Pajaro. Well, he joins Adam Almeish in the book. Decent chest control on the first ball from Desdoom, but then just couldn't release it. It is released, though, for John Brown. Once again, making inroads in the attacking channel. Now it falls to Booth. One goal to his name in this match. Lewis. Mensah freezes his defender. Fires across back post. Three defenders all over Colin Anderson. Just nothing he can do with that long pass out. AV Alta struggling to connect their lines and establish the type of possession that we are used to seeing from this team. If this stays this way, this is far and away going to be the lowest possession total that AV Alta have had in a match this season. I'll have to do some research, but I would imagine this has got to be one of the lowest in club history. They are currently at 38.5% possession. Having gone ahead in the 7th minute, they just backed off a bit and let Spokane dictate the tempo of the game. As that pattern continued, it was only a matter of time before the goals followed, with Booth and John Brown eventually putting velocity back in front. Opara gets away from one. Alfredo Ortiz scuttling back. Man, John Brown in behind again. How many times has he made that same run and found the soft spot behind the AV Alta back line? Just too much pace for them to deal with. Has provided a much different threat up there than the likes of Anwar Pelaez and Nico Brett. Much more finishers by trade. As Booth is caught on it. Good pressure from Desdoon. Spins away from his man. He's got Almeish out to the left. It's going to be hard work to find Anderson. Now a few more arriving for AV Alta. Almeish into the area. Opara did enough to get it out of his control, and then Alexandra helping to clean up defensively. Lovely touch that from Binos, rolling and stopping it. Letting his teammates join in. Marvelashvili finding himself in the heart of midfield, and all of a sudden it swung out. Cross came close to the near post, and Smith had to be watchful. Scan now for your latest ticket deals for Spokane Velocity FC. Single match and 10 flex ticket packs. See that upcoming slate there? Richmond Kickers, the next home match. Spokane trying to improve to 3-0 in the friendly confines of One Spokane Stadium this season. That is a recipe to where this team wants to be. You win your matches at home, you get points on the road, and you will be in good shape come playoff time. Spokane entering tonight 4th in the table for people who choose to look at it in early April. 5th in the power rankings, if you want to take that metric in. And for AV Alta, what can they do to try to get an opportunity at their first win of the season? Almeish has ideas. Spokane there to stop it. Desdoon looked like he might have taken some contacts. Binos sees the ball through to John Brown, who's free again, but well read by Denzel Smith. Pressure on Ortiz, who can send it back to Pajaro. Osvaldo Ley, who spots the ball over the top. Colin Fernandez needs to bring it down, hitting it and wide. Replaying that chance in his mind. Osvaldo Ley with a wonderful ball, and the moment he lets it hit his thigh, that's when the momentum goes away. Colin Anderson. That will be his final touch of the match as they bring on the hometown star, the club's first signing, Miguel Ibarra. Went to high school in Lancaster. Made it to the U.S. national team and the MLS for years. And back in League One to finish out his career as the hometown hero. And boy, would he be if they could get a goal here. He was involved in AV Alta's late goal against Union Omaha to cut the score to 3-1 in their last game. He got played in over the top and Christian Ortiz was able to clean it up. In the meantime, we saw Brian Claben just outside our frame got booked for something he said on the touchline. And Ibarra's entrance, no less important than that of Javier Mariona, full Philippines international. It is the exact double switch that AV Alta made in the closing moments against Union Omaha and had some success. So you can expect to see Ibarra playing as something of a false nine. He's high sprinting and running days are behind him, but he's still got so much quality on the ball and intelligence of movement that he can put to use up there. So much different attacking problem for the Spokane back line than they've been used to for 80 minutes or so with the rapid and explosive Colin Anderson. And expect those attacking midfielders to just play off Ibarra as the center forward. Viñals, his engine still running, picks out the cross. John Brown, good ball in. There's some contact from behind and claims of a penalty. No worries for the referee as Viñals was offside. Viñals wide open there, and it may indeed have been a penalty, but there's a reason he was so open. In behind the last defender after that long run up the sideline. Can't blame him for struggling to get back on side. And this will be a welcome sight for the home fans. The return of Colin Fernandez. As we see Siobhan John Brown come out of this one for Nico Brett, our second goal scorer, the man who at the moment stands as the match winner. And in fact, it's both goal scorers departing with Booth and John Brown hitting the bench. But Brett and Fernandez, man, you look at the players that Lee Wiedemann has called up off the bench in this one. Andre Lewis, Colin Fernandez, Joe Gallardo, Nico Brett, and Meji Alexandra. I mean, that's a USL All-Star team in its own. And Lee Wiedemann has talked about the things they've built in Spokane. It's Brett. His first touch of the match is a shot on goal that goes out for a corner, trying to seal this thing up for Spokane. Wiedemann says his team is basically good enough to have 2 USL League One starting 11s. And that's on full display with Brett coming in here for the final stages. Viñals, the all-time leading assist man in USL League One, taking the ICCU corner kick, your financial success fan club. Outswinging ball. AV Alta trying to clear. Mariona tracking in his opposite, number 17, Meji Alexandra, doing well to win the foot race. Win big at Spokane's favorite casino. Spokane Tribe Resort and Casino is located in Airway Heights. Mariona can't fashion a shot before Fernandez slides in. Mensah battling past those desert sand jerseys and finding a ball through to Nico Brett. Back post, it's Gallardo. skewing off the outside of his boots. The USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN+. You can go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. And that will be followed tomorrow night by Westchester and Sarasota, kicking off 4 p.m. here on the West Coast, 7 p.m. Eastern. And, of course, available on ESPN+. Our first of 2 midweek matches. It has been good value for entertainment. AV Alta taking the early lead. Kind of out of nowhere. You come into this match looking at the table, and Spokane at home. AV Alta still looking for their first win. An inspired opening. But ever since then, it has been all velocity. Unless AV Alta have something to say about it late on with this ICCU corner kick. A ball like that is not going to do the job. It will at least allow AV Alta to try to get some pressure down here in the coffin corner with Opara taking the throw in. Almesh running it down and sent long out of danger. Pajaro heading back. Not far enough for Smith to come grab it, but he's alert with his feet. And it's all-out attack now from AV Alta. Just a couple defenders back. Ortiz clipping it forward. Almesh won't get there. Gagi sensibly sending it out of play. Quickly back in by Alfredo Ortiz. Pelivanov to Pajaro. All 10 outfield players in the attacking half for AV Alta. Spokane forming a wall of black jerseys to protect this 2-1 lead. It's a cheap foul given away by Nico Brett, but not in a particularly dangerous position. Could be a deep crossing angle for AV Alta. Back post ball, Pelivanov heads across. It's not a convincing clearance, but thankfully for Spokane, the first run was offside from the Bulgarian center half. And this half stoppage time is presented by Coeur d'Alene Casino Resort and Hotel. 3 minutes left for AV Alta to try to find an equalizer. Couple chances. I'd call them half chances for Colin Anderson in the second half before he was subbed out. But Spokane are looking like good value for a 2-1 result here as things stand. Again, outpossessing AV Alta even with the late surge here by a split of 58.5 to 41.5. That is unheard of as far as an AV Alta performance is considered, to have that low of a possession mark, and it's a cheap giveaway. It's a shot from half field. Whoa, that was close. But Denzel Smith gets back. And as incredible as it might have been, it does allow AV Alta to quickly launch another attack. But a man like Nico Brett, you can't pass up the opportunity. Antwi spinning in circles and gaining no grounds. And that does feel like a perfect metaphor. Foul conceded. About 35 yards from goal. Final minute of the 3 minutes of stoppage time. Alfredo Ortiz has plenty of runners at the back post. Floated up, cut back across. Pelivanov lays it off. It's Lay deflecting. A second shot, a third across goal. Somehow Spokane get away with it, and off goes Nico Brett. Waiting for reinforcements. He's got Vinyals busting along. The keeper's out, and it's 3-1 to Spokane. And breathe. Vinyals wrapping things up. It was that close to going in on the other end. Great patience from Nico Brett to wait long enough, but not too long for that gap to go away. Denzel Smith did all he could to cut down the angle, but a man of Vinyals' quality, we know what he can do. A perfect finish to salt away a 3-1 result at home. A scoreline that looks all too familiar for AV Alta. The same as their last match finished against Union Omaha, and the search for their first win in 2026 will have to wait. That's it, folks. Full time in Spokane. On short rest, Lee Wiedman's men get it done as they notch their third win of the season, improving to 3-0 at home. And AV Alta, with no wins, 2 losses, and 3 draws through their first 5 matches in league play. Your match winner was Siobhan John Brown back in the 55th minute of play, capped off by that beautiful goal from Vinyals on the run out, as Rocky Wells, the 18-year-old, got his first pro start today as well. And considering the circumstances, the tight schedule, what a huge win this is for Spokane Velocity. A lot for us to wrap up, as we will show you the full-time highlights to give you our play of the match right after this short break. You're watching USL League One Soccer, where your final score is Spokane 3, AV Alta 1.
De vez en cuando, todos queremos soltarnos. Solo necesitamos un poco de ayuda. Conozca Un Poco de Ayuda. El Ford Bronco Sport Wild Edition 2024 pasa por cualquier terreno para que puedas darlo todo. Obtén una gran oferta en una Bronco Sport hoy mismo. Arrienda una Bronco Sport Wild Edition por $339 al mes por 36 meses o cómpralo con 3.9 por 36 y obtén $2,000 de bono Wild.
At Eastern Washington University, students and faculty work side by side to restore a lost prairie and decrease our carbon footprint. Composers are writing music to help us understand how salmon migrate. And urban and regional planning students partner with cities to gather the data they need to address homelessness. Interdisciplinary education that gets real about the real world. That's Eastern Washington University and you.
So that's full time, 3-1 Spokane, getting another win at home, improving to 3-0 this season. at One Spokane Stadium. Goals from Booth, John Brown, and Neil Beanyals, who provided our play of the match as we give you our full-time highlights. Well, AV Alta got it all started early, and it was looking like panic stations for Spokane, who made 7 changes to their starting lineup, including taking Nick Spielman out, one of their center backs who's played every minute this season, and Cameron Miller got caught wrong-sided by Osvaldo Ley, of all people, scoring the opening goal in the 7th minute. Spokane wrestled back control of the match, and Beanyals sent in a nice corner that was initially headed by Gagi, and then the rebound fell kindly there to Andrew Booth, who scores his first goal in league play after providing some late heroics in the Open Cup last week. That was just before halftime, and then right after halftime, an attack that was propelled by Jack Denton through the midfield, finished off by John Brown. A clever final touch going through the legs of Denzel Smith. And that really showed you the difference in the finishing quality in this match. Alta had a few chances, especially Colin Anderson, and he was not the assassin that Brian Clavin told me he's been looking for in front of goal. That brings us to our play of the match, brought to you by Modelo, the mark of a fighter. And if anybody's got the mark of a fighter, I mean, it is Neil Beanyals. Credit as well to the Spokane defense dealing with this chaotic sequence of play. But watch Beanyals just over our graphic here, sprinting, hauling his butt across the field, all the way up in stoppage time, and finishing that thing off, making it 3-1, making sure no comeback was possible. That was basically the final kick of the game as Beanyals scores his first goal of the season. What a player. What a joy to watch. The full-time stats here, I pointed it out a time or two throughout the show, but just unheard of possession numbers for a team playing against AV Alta. Spokane dominate the ball. They put more shots on goal than AV Alta, and they really deserve this 3-1 win, even after the hot start from the away side, as AV Alta's road woes continue. They have only won 1 match in all competitions since last July, and they still only have 2 away wins in the history of their club. So that is the story. Trends continuing, and Spokane looking strong early on in the season, managing a tough schedule and coming out with a 3-1 victory, 3 class goals, and a fun show on this Tuesday night. Our producers, Hunter Nixon, Ruben Trujillo on the audio, and Jason Thomas on the replay. My name is Parker Johnson, saying thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time for some more USL League One action.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.
Ball played diagonally.